Successful traders always follow the line of least resistance. Follow the trend. The trend is your friend. And of course, that is a quote from Jesse Livermore, who I dedicated my latest book, Three-Wave Trading Advantage, to. The three-wave trading advantage is based on the weekly, the 2-day, and the 195-minute or half-day chart. Why are you using a 4-hour chart? The market is open to 195-minute periods in a day. It's open from 9:30 to 4. That's not 8 hours. So again, that's why we use a 195-minute chart. If you want our book, become a Patreon supporter at any of the 3 levels, and you will get an email of it immediately, along with Options Made Simple, the Charting Wealth Way. Let's jump into these charts. Everything's up for the day. Not a really big up day. We do see a little bit of upward crawl. The biggest up for the day is HODL, 2.18%. Not a big up day either for Bitcoin. But let's talk about where we are. We will start with the S&P 500. How do you like the new format? Now, all the numbers I give out, you will see in the show notes. If you're not a subscriber at chartingwealth.com, you need to go there and subscribe. You get the email every day. It'll have the grid in it that gives you all this information: symbol, direction, resistance, support, buy level, sell point, buy point, sell point, and expected move in dollars. Now, remember, we're not a stock calling service. We're an education firm. Don't expect us to be a stock calling service. We don't offer that. You don't pay us anything. We're here to help you train and learn 10 to 15 minutes a day. That's all we ask. Let's jump into these charts. What do we see on the S&P 500? Well, we have an uptrend with signs of consolidation. As we look at the volume, it's slightly decreasing, suggesting some weaker momentum. As we look at the direction right now, we're predicting about a 60% probability of slightly bullish up movement. What does that mean? Well, we are currently at $612.93. We see resistance at 613.25 and support at 605.25. What does that mean? Well, that means that we got a buy point there if it clears that resistance at $613.25 at about the $613.50 level. If you see volume there, that would be a confirmed breakout for us, and we would expect an up move of about $3 till we start hitting some other levels of potential resistance. If things break down and we move down below the 609 mark, again with volume to support that, probably go down another 5 points until we hit that low again around the 605 marker. So $4 to $5 there. So keep that in mind. Hopefully that helps you. You can see how the markets continue to sort of eke out and slow down. So we will pay attention. We're sitting right there, just right there, pushing through where we were on the high of highs. So let's move on to the NASDAQ 100. Where are we there? It was barely up for the day. The S&P up 0.24%. The NASDAQ 0.03%. Now the trend has been a strong upward trend, but again, nearing levels of resistance. Volume stable, but not confirming any kind of strong breakout at this point. As we look at the direction, we're at about a 55% probability, neutral, slightly bullish. And again, your buy point would be above $540 for continuation. Your sell point, if things crash below the 535 point, we're looking, that's $535. Again, sometimes I start using the jargon, expecting everybody to know everything. I know we've got folks all the time floating in and out, but again, I want to be as helpful to everybody as possible. We expect a movement here of about $4 up, $6 down again if we move up to that buy point and if we go below to that sell point. But we are slightly bullish at 55%. Now, let's move from stocks into bonds. Where are we with TLT? That's 20-year U.S. government bonds. Well, we are bearish. We're struggling at resistance now. Look at the doji here. Look at the slowdown last week, and we had all that volume pumping up. Then we had a green spinning top last week, and we have a doji this week. Remember, the red color doesn't mean down volume. It just means opened lower than the prior candle's close. So we've done that 2 weeks in a row. We look at the candles. We're forming lower highs. We look at the volume, it's slightly increasing. We look at where we are in the direction. We're about 70% bearish. So again, that's a pretty good probability. We see resistance at $88.80. That is getting above that. And we see support at about $87.12. So the buy point would be above $89 for a reversal. Sell point would be $87.05. And again, that's, we're at 88.21 right now for continued movement down. We see about 3 points for down movement till we hit some more resistance in that down move. So that is where we are on bonds. We're going to move next on to gold, trying to get you through this as quickly as we can. Gold eking up a little bit, 0.06%. You can see we're really just pretty much sliding sideways as it topped really on Tuesday morning almost, and then sort of sliding sideways since then. Strong uptrend, but reaching again key levels. We're consolidating near highs. We have moderate volume, but not strongly confirming any kind of breakout. We're 75% bullish nonetheless. We see resistance at 273.09. We're currently at 270.85. We see support at 265.45. So our buy point is just a few cents up from where we are now. That's above 271 for continuation with volume to help you out and sustain that. Remember, it's got to have volume to make things go up or down, where it's going to be backed by something. Otherwise, it's just sort of the vicissitudes, perhaps even of just the market maker. So you want to be careful there. We don't have volume backing up a move that you're going into. We're looking at about a +5 to -3 points. Now, lastly, we're going to go to HODL. What is that? That's the VanEck Bitcoin Trust. It was up 2.18%. You can see the big down day yesterday. Again, as we look at where things are, we look at the weekly chart, we just see it tracking down. We look at the 2-day chart, we see it tracking down. Even with the up move for today, we didn't make up for where things went down yesterday. So as we look sideways, lacking direction, we're seeing, low volatility. The volume, low momentum, 87.51 thousand. As we look at the direction, neutral to slightly bearish, about a 55% probability. Again, I don't like 55% probabilities. I really like 80% probabilities. When I start seeing that, I'm definitely pulling the trigger on something. When it gets to 75%, I want it to be something that I'm comfortable with, that I understand, I've traded before. So this is the whole reason, my friends, you want to practice trade as much as you can, learning the ins and outs of pulling that trigger in a practice trade. And of course, you've been paper trading for a while and you want to switch over. You know what you need to do? You need to start doing some fractional trading, where, like here, look at, if you wanted to trade Bitcoin at some point, look at what the price of Bitcoin is, $27.22. A Bitcoin turned around, you could buy 4 shares, just a little over $100, and then you could buy the shares in your good till canceled sell order, track everything, follow the charts, do what you need to do like you're trading $1 million worth of Bitcoin. It's only 100. If you lose 15%, it's $15. Again, that's the way you fractionally trade when you get into the market slowly after you paper traded for a while. But it does help you keep up with your wins and losses when you're using just a small amount of real money. Now, back to HODL. Like we said, the direction is neutral, slightly bearish, 55% probability. Resistance we see is at the 28.28 mark. Support at the $26.47 mark. We see the buy point is above $27, which is where we are right now for a breakout, but you want some volume to go with that. Sell point is below 26.5. We're expecting a move of 1.5 up, 2 points down. So again, it's just sliding sideways. I'm not touching HODL right now. But just, again, it pays benefits to watch these charts each and every day. That's why we always encourage you 10 to 15 minutes. That's all we ask. Again, if you're not subscribing, you're not getting the trainings every day, and you're not getting the grid that gives you the symbol, direction, resistance, support, buy point, sell point, and expected move. God bless, my friends. All the best. Let me know what you think about this new format if it's helpful. That's what we're all about, being helpful.